Have you ever wondered how one man could become so powerful that an entire government feared him? Today, I want you to walk with me into the life of a man who rose from poverty, built an empire worth billions, and left behind a legacy that still haunts the world. This is the story of Pablo Escobar. And as you listen, I want you to ask yourself something. What happens when ambition has no limit and power comes without conscience? Let's go back to December 1st, 1949. Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was born in Rio Negro, but he grew up in Medellin, a city that would one day become the heart of his empire. His father was a farmer. His mother was a schoolteacher. Nothing about his early life screamed future kingpin. But even as a teenager, he didn't dream small. There's a story that as a young boy, he once told friends he wanted to become the president of Colombia. Imagine that, a poor kid from the streets daring to dream about ruling a nation. Except his path to power would take a very different direction. As a teenager, he started small, selling fake lottery tickets, stealing tombstones to resell them, smuggling cigarettes. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't noble. But it was the beginning. And maybe here's the first lesson. Ambition without direction can lead you anywhere, including the wrong road.
¿Pero usted puede asegurar que su dinero nunca ha tenido vinculación con el narcotráfico?
Siempre he asegurado que mi dinero no tiene vínculos con el narcotráfico.
¿De dónde surgió entonces su dinero, su fabuloso capital?
En Antioquia todos conocen las inversiones en el campo de la industria, en el campo de la ganadería y en el campo de la construcción.
In the 1970s, cocaine demand in the United States exploded. Pablo saw an opportunity. While others hesitated, he moved fast. He built connections with traffickers, secured supply routes, and eventually founded what became known as the Medellín Cartel. And this wasn't small-time smuggling. By the 1980s, he was shipping tons of cocaine into the United States every month. At his peak, he reportedly controlled around 80% of the global cocaine trade. Let that sink in. It's estimated he was earning over $60 million a day. He became one of the richest men in the world, even appearing on the Forbes billionaire list for years. But here's something I want you to think about. When money comes that fast, it rarely comes clean. In Medellin, many poor families saw Escobar as a hero. He built houses. He funded schools. He constructed football fields. One neighborhood was even called Barrio Pablo Escobar. If you were poor and struggling, and someone suddenly gave you a home, you might call him a savior too. But behind that generosity was unimaginable violence. Escobar operated on a simple phrase, plata o plomo. Silver or lead. Take the bribe, or take a bullet. Judges, police officers, journalists, politicians, thousands were killed during his reign of terror. Bombings rocked cities. Innocent civilians died. In 1989, a bomb exploded on Avianca Flight 203, killing everyone on board. He had allegedly ordered it in an attempt to assassinate a presidential candidate. Remember how young Pablo once said he wanted to be president? Well, he tried to enter politics. In 1982, he was elected as an alternate member of Colombia's Congress. He wore suits, gave speeches, and tried to clean his image. But his criminal past caught up with him. When his drug operations were publicly exposed, he was forced out of politics. Humiliated. Angry. And that's when the violence escalated. He declared war on the Colombian government. By the late 1980s, Colombia was in chaos. Car bombs, assassinations, fear everywhere. The government, supported by the United States and the DEA, launched an all-out manhunt. Groups like Los Peeps, enemies of Escobar, also emerged, targeting his associates. Escobar went into hiding. But here's the twist you probably didn't expect. In 1991, he negotiated a deal with the Colombian government. Instead of extradition to the United States, he agreed to surrender, on one condition: he would build and stay in his own prison. And that prison, known as La Catedral, was more like a luxury resort. It had a football field, a bar, even a waterfall. He continued running his cartel from inside. You can't make this up. Eventually, when authorities tried to move him to a real prison, he escaped. And the hunt began again. By 1993, he was isolated. His empire was collapsing. His allies were dead or arrested. His family was constantly on the run. On December 2, 1993, one day after his 44th birthday, Colombian police tracked him to a rooftop in Medellin. Shots were fired. And just like that, Pablo Escobar's life ended on a rooftop. The man who once made presidents tremble died cornered and alone. Escobar's wife, Maria Victoria Henao, and their children fled Colombia after his death. His son later changed his name to Sebastián Marroquín and has publicly spoken against his father's legacy. Years later, his story continues to fascinate people worldwide. Shows like Narcos introduced a new generation to his story. Tourists visit Medellin asking about him. Some still romanticize him. But here's what I want you to remember: behind the legend were real victims. Real families. Real lives lost. Power built on fear doesn't last. Money built on blood leaves scars. What can you learn? Now let me talk to you directly. You and I might never control an empire. We might never see billions of dollars. But ambition, that's something we all have. Escobar's life shows us two powerful truths. 1. Vision without morals can destroy everything. 2. No matter how powerful you become, consequences eventually catch up. I hope this story doesn't just entertain you. I hope it makes you think. Because at the end of the day, the real legacy you leave isn't about how much you earn. It's about how many lives you uplift without hurting others. And that choice, that's always yours. If you found this story powerful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And tell me in the comments, do you think Pablo Escobar was a product of his environment, or a man who chose his own path? I'll see you in the next story.